More than 1 billion sellers are already planning to enter the Brazilian market. Why is it an emerging market with a population of more than 200 million people? Chinese sellers are not even 200 people enjoy unlimited red Brazilian market profits up to 50%, 70%, 80% may then become 1-0. What's the point of all the products are suitable for the basic models that are difficult to have the technical content but also very high price performance ratio is almost unbeatable. You talk about some emerging markets then. Which do you think is the best now? I would choose Brazil. The world's population of more than 200 million countries except China, India, the United States, Brazilian market and Indonesia is the most important is Brazil. Brazil market is the so-called emerging markets. You talk about emerging markets. Which one do you think is the best? I'd choose Brazil. The world's population exceeds 200 million, except for China, India, the United States, Brazil, and Indonesia. The most important market is Brazil. Brazil is the so-called high-tax country, and many taxes are very high, maybe 80% to 90%. Brazil's market has 4 major barriers: logistic, customs clearance, local companies, taxes, and returns. Many people are prevented from entering most of the products that are doing well in the European and American markets. To compare, you will find that the Brazilian market profit may be as high as 50%, 70%, 80%, and even why you have to say that it is an emerging market. There is a saying that the bigger the storm, the more expensive the fish is. If a market is very easy to enter, how much do you think it will be in terms of profit? How much do you think you have to invest in order to PK with them? Someone else would be willing to charge 15% gross profit to go for it. You may still have to make a profit of $10 million to do it. The key is that there are still people in the market who don't need profit but only sales, and it's very difficult for you to do it with them. Brazil is a market where Chinese sellers don't even have 200. Think about how much opportunity there is in the market. If the tax is high, then pay the tax. Anyway, the wool comes out of the sheep's mouth and everyone has to pay it. The key point is how you can overcome all the difficulties and get into the Brazilian market. Then you can think about the bonuses that the Chinese supply chain will bring to the country. China's ingenuity and this kind of downsizing in the Brazilian market is simply like a fish out of water, for example. Now, I am a manufacturer that I want to enter a cross-border e-commerce market in Brazil. You can help them with what things related to the head of the company and the tax problem. We can help Chinese sellers to solve the equivalent of us to provide him with a package of solutions. But we all know that the Brazilian market, its door is only open. This crack can be the influx of sellers every year and every month is very limited to the next year. The influx of sellers will be more and more. Even if the current 200 next year will become 1,000 in the market of more than 200 million people. 1,000 is what is equivalent to a limited number of people to enjoy unlimited dividends. But the threshold is very high. You have to do a good job to cross these thresholds in the middle of a lot of uncertainty. Threshold, high threshold has a unique advantage to enter the right, to set the price of the right. You're going to be alive, more and more nourishing before others come in. You build your own moat to make the money to make good when others come in. You give them services to do all the supporting. Can come to Brazil, this side of the cross-border e-commerce. That means he himself must be to the waist above the seller. I think that at least he has cross-border e-commerce experience and he has to have a certain amount of capital to enter. The cost of the initial period of time is the biggest difficulty in the register. The company's account registration costs will be higher. Logistics time may be between 55 days to 75 days, and then the tariffs are particularly high, so you have to have the patience and confidence to cross such a threshold. Once you cross the Chinese, many products into the inside is hanging tight. Head of more than 1 billion sellers have been in the layout. Do you think it is suitable for all the products, or that there is a hierarchy of the brand? Clocking road is the 3 C's of electronic consumer products, but it is difficult but technological content, but it's not a problem. That is, there is difficulty and technical content, but also very high price performance ratio of the basic models. This is almost unparalleled in Brazil. Want to understand whether your product is in line with the Brazilian? Very simple to find the Big Ants data download to assess the price of the above products compared to. You will know how high the profits. You will find that the Brazilian threshold of entry is nothing but small sellers want to get a few 120,000 into that is not realistic. Must have a stable supply chain because your shipping time is very long and you cannot afford to buy the products you want. Supply chain because your shipping time is longer, so you have a lot of money on the road in the drift. You have the patience to do. Believe me, this market can give you more than normal return. The greater the inflation, the more expensive. We must do the threshold of the business of the Brazilian local e-commerce. Interested in some sellers, we formed a small Brazilian coalition to discuss the formation of a small circle of common learning and sharing of some of the experience in order to help us better. Entering this market is faster for one and farther for all.